Saturday, January the 6th. I'm WESH 2 First Warning Meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week in the mornings to chat about what's going on in the world of weather. And thankfully, we're not watching anything severe, but we are watching storms around Central Florida. First off, just want to get you an update. This coming in just a moment ago from the Storm Prediction Center, highlighting the West Coast, saying basically, yeah, storms are moving in. But for now, nothing is severe. Thankfully, not watching anything that gives them the idea that they'll need to issue any kind of a tornado watch, severe thunderstorm watch, or anything like that. So that's good news. Certainly something that we would not want to see, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with exactly where we're at. So watching the storm system moving in and giving us a wet morning and then clearing on out. And we'll, of course, keep watch for any strong to severe storms that try to pop up. All right, let's look outside, see what's doing on our Tower Cam network. There's downtown Orlando. It is gray. But it's not just playing out gray in our metro. It's playing out this way across all of Central Florida as well. So we'll move around and take a look at some of the other tower cams. And then we'll, of course, update you on our live radar. So first, let's bring it full. The roads are still smooth, so that's always a good point. Let's look over to the tourist district. It's raining a little heavier over here. The officials over at Run Disney wanted the half marathon to be done by about 8 o'clock because that's when the more intense rains are moving in. Certainly that's what we're seeing. Not a ton in the way of lightning, but definitely the rains are going to be picking up over the next few hours' time out that direction. To Tavares we go. Seaplane capital. Just probably not going to see many seaplanes today, unfortunately, right? Ocala, let's head up to you, see what's doing. A little wet for sure, little ribbons of heavier stuff coming into the Big Bend as we speak. Let's head down to the Orlando International Airport, see what's doing on that tower cam. Yep, definitely watching some of the rains around. It's not perfect. As a matter of fact, live look at the Orlando International Airport delay system, and we now have 20 flight delays, so it's not perfect. There is one on-time one cancellation. Most flights are still on time, but if we end up going IFR, certainly we'll have to space out things just a little bit. All right? So that's kind of where we're at. All right? Any questions, comments, concerns? All right. So for us, a couple of important things to note. In Central Florida, we are under a level 1 out of 5 risk for isolated strong to severe storms in our area today. Heavy downpours, even some gusty winds. But that's our area. Storm Prediction Center did just push another update out, and it's one that's worth mentioning. Let me take you down to South Florida, where they now have a level 2 out of 5 risk for strong to severe storms. And I'd said this a couple of minutes ago when I was on the air saying if I lived in the Sun Coast or in the Fort Myers area, I would be watching this morning's storm system a little closer. And that's exactly what the Storm Prediction Center sees as well. That's why they upgraded them. So there's that. For the peninsula, that's going to be the spot that has the perhaps stronger storms today. All right, I saw somebody say, I'm glad that we're doing Coffee Talk, which means that the storms are not too strong. I would 100% agree. Michael says they totally could have gotten the full Walt Disney World half marathon in. It's easy, Michael, to say that, being Monday morning quarterback. But with a line of storms coming in, computer model guidance was showing storms. I got to be honest with you. They made the right call, man. Like, once you get those people out there, you can't just move them in. And we didn't have a full grasp of this storm system until it came into radar range. You see that? I mean, listen, they made the right call. 100%. It's easy to play Monday morning quarterback, but I got to be honest. I think they made the right call. All right, here's a look at our live radar. The range is way configured in, and the reason for that is I've got our live radar in severe weather mode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the Tampa radar, and that at least gives some context. And yeah, I mean, like, Michael, look at those storms in the Gulf moving in. Those have plenty of lightning and gusty winds in there, and you just don't want to, first off, insurance liability alone is a thing. But second off, you just don't want people to be in a dangerous scenario, right? So that's a look there. Heavier stuff certainly off of southwest Florida, and that's why they got that upgrade to the level 2 threat for strong to severe storms. But in our area, let's come over to the metro. Let me switch over to our first warning live Doppler radar, and you can see light to moderate rains moving in. Some pockets of heavier stuff down around Walt Disney World already, right? Like nothing severe, but some good heavy rains, and we're going to be trending more and more in the heavy rain department over the next few hours' time as that kind of works on in. Further to the north, some good heavy rains working across Volusia and Flagler counties, but that's kind of the overall setup for the next few hours. So let's get in Futurecast and get an idea of where the storms will be, okay? The timing, all that fun stuff, all right? So Futurecast is showing that by about 9, 10 o'clock, the stormiest of the weather moving through the metro area, okay? By about 11, 12 o'clock, we're getting it all off to Brevard County, and then by about 1, 2 o'clock, we're looking better and better and better. So certainly good news. We're looking better and better and better as the day progresses, okay? So worst of the weather is now through about 9 a.m. in our northwestern areas, all right? As a matter of fact, it's, I think that's fine. For me, the further south is where the dynamics are, into the Fort Myers area. And even for us, if I'm honest with you, I'm looking more in line with like, Osceola, Polk County, kind of those areas for the stronger storms in our area. Okay, 9 a.m. to 11 o'clock in the metro, 11 to 1 into Brevard County. All right? Any questions so far? Any questions whatsoever? Want to make sure I got you taken care of. Nikki says hubby's at MCO waiting for a 9 a.m. flight to Vegas. Hopefully he's able to make it out. Yeah, I would agree with that. Jen says yes, better safe than sorry. Yeah, there's no, listen. When it comes to the weather, you don't want to mess with it. And there's always going to be people that get mad about it, and it is what it is. It's just the way that it goes. How come the only thing that gets upgraded in my life is the weather, never the airplane seat or the hotel room? Yukon, I get that. Boy, do I get that. All right, let's see here, Cecilia. Good morning to you. Yep, enjoy the rainy morning for sure. That's a good way to look at it. Tim's asking, do I need to take down my outside Christmas lights? Can I plan to do that this afternoon? Yeah, do it this afternoon. You're good to go. It's funny, a friend of mine was asking just yesterday. He was like, do I need to rush out and stay up all night tonight and take the Christmas lights down? I'm like, no. And I took some of mine down yesterday, but it wasn't weather-based whatsoever. It was strictly based on, hey, I've got some time. Let me get it taken care of. Yeah, we don't need to go into freak out mode here, okay? Frankie, for sure. Yeah, for sure your open house will look much better. Yeah, by 1 o'clock this afternoon. Now, I do want to point out, because we've got this interesting, very, very El Nino weather pattern. So there's the storm system moving through. Tomorrow, notice, Futurecast showing, 7:45, 8 a.m., showing a few showers running along this old frontal boundary, okay? So it could have a little bit of rain tomorrow, but then by Monday already we're watching this next storm system fire up activity out west and move our direction. Already. Do I look excited? Good, I'm not. Because already we're looking for the threat of our next severe weather setup. And to me, at least, this one on Tuesday shows a greater dynamic threat for strong to severe storms. And it's not into South Florida. It's going to be more North Florida. So, good times. For now, this is the area the Storm Prediction Center is highlighting. I think that we'll probably be placed under a level. We'll get that data tonight into tomorrow. Will be probably placed under a level 2 out of 5 risk for strong to severe storms. That's what I'm thinking. SIPS is kind of backing that up. Do I even have that loaded up here? I do. Hold on. Give me a second. I do. All right, give me 2 seconds. All right, so SIPS, if you're new to Coffee Talk, we kind of show this from time to time. It's a product that looks at, basically it's an algorithm that gives us the idea for severe weather. Yeah, so there's SIPS. There's SIPS for, yep, there's the SIPS analog, if you will, for Tuesday. Bigger threat, it's indicating further to the north. If we look at the tornado threat is over us. The wind threat is going to be further north. But all severe, yeah. So I would say that, truth be told, when looking at all the data, I think that Tuesday is going to have a bigger threat for us. Just watching showers and thunder showers, that sort of thing, for today. All right? Starting the year with less of a drought than last year, George says. Yeah, well, yeah. It's an El Nino year. And so the problem is, and Catherine points this out, Catherine says visions of El Nino in 1998. We remember too well the tornadoes that touched down in Osceola County. Absolutely. 1998 was an El Nino year, and anytime you get into this El Nino kind of pattern, what you end up with is a pretty fast subtropical jet. And when that happens, you end up with storm system after storm system after storm system. Look at the 7-day forecast. I went ahead and called for an impact day on Tuesday because I firmly believe that weather pattern is going to offer up the threat for severe weather. It's too early, but Friday may also be an impact kind of weather day. And frankly, Tuesday may end up going first warning weather day. An El Nino weather pattern, we get this kind of a subtropical jet where it just thrusts these areas of low pressure at us and it juices them up in the atmosphere, and it just kind of has us as such that we have to track these things. Good times. So that's where we're at. Carol's asking, going to be a rocky year? I mean, this is January. When we get into February, March, that's usually when El Nino tries to tap into some of that jet stream energy down to the surface. So to me, that's when we're going to have to watch things closer. Does El Nino pattern and weather complicate your long-term for? Everything complicates it, Jenny. Yeah, it's all just stuff to watch. Yeah. Frank says, that means my grass will keep growing, and my favorite part of winter is not having to cut the grass. I know. Yeah, me too. Yeah, so that means summer will be dry since it's wet now. No, James, what's interesting is it looks like we're actually going to be trending neutral heading into summer, which means that we would just kind of keep things stormy-ish. Yep. Good times. So that's kind of where we're at. So today, watching for some of those storms around. If you're heading out to the theme parks, Epcot, for example, I'm sure plenty of runners are going to be wanting to head out after they rest from this morning's half miler. It was a quarter miler. Right? But there you go. Watching for the threat for some stronger storms this morning. And then afterward, we'll be clearing that out, and it won't be much of a problem at all. Right? That's kind of where we're at. All right? Now, back to the live radar. Want to just update that. See how we're doing. All right, and again, if you're new, I'm the nerd that likes to tweak the radar, and so I've got it zoomed in. But the reason I have it zoomed in is because it gives me a much better look on our wind velocity product on our live radar. So, yeah, I want to look over here. By the way, yeah, nothing crazy. All right, but in a situation like this, it's important to have our radar fine-tuned as best we can. And I'll tell you, and I've said this, but like our live radar, doesn't matter how much power you have at the end of the day, and I'm just going to be honest with you. The power doesn't matter as much if you know how to use the radar. And for me, you know, our radar may be the oldest in Central Florida, but we've updated it. And our signal processor is where we've got the strength. You know, we look at like the wind velocity, like each pixel. It's our velocity data, our reflectivity data. Look at the size of those pixels. That's ours. Let me show you the National Weather Service. Do you see how much bigger those pixels are? I know that this is splitting hairs and it's nerd stuff, but that's where our radar really sings. But some good little ribbons. You see that? Some good rains there into the metro. No big deal. Just some rains moving on in. All right? Some good rains around. Had a lot of lightning in about 6 o'clock in Ocala, and now just a bunch of rain. Yep, that's kind of where it's at. Taylor, old reliable. I mean, it's you know, it's not power. Yeah, I mean, power is just transmittability. But here's the thing that, you know, nobody wants you to know. Okay, we have 250,000 watts of power in our radar. Anything more is just a power bill, because C-band radars are attenuation machines. So no matter what, okay, here's what the other guys don't want you to know. You can put more power in, but they'll still attenuate because it's the C-band. So Wesh put the money in the signal processor. Why? Because it's going to attenuate as much as any other radar, but the signal processor gives us higher resolution. That's right. Big pixel energy. That's right. Anyway, enough of the nerd stuff. Questions about things. I want to make sure I got you taken care of. Questions, comments, concerns about our 7-day forecast. A couple of storm systems moving through. It's going to be, it's this time of year is always interesting, but this year being El Nino, gotta watch it just that little extra bit. Yep. All right. That's so funny. The durability of the i4 eyesore. Ours has been done since the 90s. 100% done. Yeah. Rain start Tuesday. So it actually looks like Tuesday's going. So good question. So let's look at the model data for Monday. Well, let's just look at the model data for today, just so that we can back it up. So by 1 o'clock, it's done. And then it clears out and we look good. Here's this evening. Tomorrow morning, don't be surprised if some of these clouds throw out a shower or so. Okay. Then taking Futurecast all the way out to Monday, mostly cloudy skies. Notice Monday we're going to have a few showers, right? There's Monday evening showers. Okay. Monday night we'll have some showers, but it won't be until Tuesday that we get the storms moving in. So let me dial up our long-range, low-resolution Futurecast model product. All right, there's showers around for Monday. Firing up a secondary low, though, on Tuesday. And it's not going to be an all-day rain. It looks like some showers for Tuesday noontime. And then into the afternoon, evening. That's when it looks like we're going to get those storms moving in. I would add that when I was texting with Manolfi, the last thing we were chatting about was basically, see you Tuesday for the real thing. That's kind of where we're at. Good times. All right. Yep. So Tuesday's going to be, to me, I think that's going to be the real interesting one. Eric says we have a wedding to go to in Lake Nona at noon. Do you think the rain will be done? Eric, I would say more than likely noon today we're going to look pretty good. I see you looking over there. There's something. It doesn't look organized, but there's something. Once it gets into that friction coming ashore, that's when it'll be really interesting. Yeah. Fake intern. Nothing brightens my day like talking about radar tech. Hey, David, I mean, nerd is nerd, right? If you add the antimatter reactor, yeah, get a better picture. That's too funny, Yukon. I like it, by the way. Nice reference. And where does the dilithium crystal go? Yes, we've got a 4 o'clock SpaceX launch, and then 2 a.m. Monday, we've got the first Vulcan. That'll be cool. My wife says that's all Eric all the time. He's on TV, he's on the computer. Hey, listen, it's a narcissist's dream, right? Chris, so instead of Tony coming in to help you, you're coming in to help Tony. Well, I'm already scheduled to be here, but yeah, that's the general idea. Yeah. Hi, Ryan, fake intern rules. So Tony, it's funny, Tony's like, we need to make him a real intern. And so like that, one of these days, we're going to have fake intern will be a real intern. Yeah. Tony's like, bada bing, see you Tuesday, Eric. I know. Poor guy woke up, like he worked last night, woke up at 5 o'clock this morning just to track storms. So you got to give it to him. He's definitely, I've always said this and I've always felt this. Tony is one of those guys. He's the chief that you want to have because he puts his money where his mouth is, you know? Yeah. Look at those storms, though. Like, why does Southwest Florida have a greater threat? That's the live radar out of Tampa. The storms, and this is what fake intern was just looking at, but like those storms definitely have more juice to them atmospherically. So that's why. That's 100% why. Yep. Yep, that's 100% why. So while we're chatting, I'll pop up the 12-hour forecast just so that we can plan for the day. Yep. Okay. A narcissist's dream. That's called politician. That's funny. 3 minutes? All right. All right. Yeah, check the dilithium crystal. Exactly. Tuesday's soundings. Oh, Brad, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that in time in 3 minutes. You challenge me so much. Okay. Okay, MCO. I'm going to try valid Tuesday at 9Z. Tuesday at 12Z. Yeah, there. I mean, that's it looks a little goalposty. Looks a little goalposty for Tuesday. This is definitely the brief version, but yeah.
There's slight risk for
saw that. Yeah, I already mentioned that. Yeah. I mean, Tuesday definitely looks more goalposty to me. We'll have to see how the shear plays out, but yeah. All right. I got to go do TV. I'll be watching it through the day today, my friends. If I need to, I'll pop on. In other words, just enjoy the rain this morning, and don't worry unless I tell you to. All right. Be the sunshine of someone else's day. Thank you, fake intern. Be good. All right.